Hello, my name is Alun, and my pronouns are he, him, and this is the first game that I have facilitated as a member of the Open Hearth community. If you don't know about Open Hearth, search Open Hearth. We are an online gaming community that you would love to come and play with. Trust me. And we have a Patreon and all kinds of stuff. So check out social media in the next few days because we launched today. Oh, look at that sparkly heart. Thank you. So yes, this is the second of a now 7 session series of Starforged, Ironsworn Starforged, because I can't say Ironsworn Starforged easily. We will call it Starforged from now on. You want to know about the setup? Well, last time in session 1, we created the sector that we're adventuring, Ancient's Reach. Created a variety of hooks in that process and in character generation. But today I propose to very swiftly move on to ask the players to introduce themselves and just tell us a little something about the characters that they're representing today, and then we'll get on with pick up the plot where we left off. So I'm going to go in order of the character keeper. So left to right. Lowell, tell us about Corbin Darsk.
So Corbin Darsk is a member of an order that hunts down kind of things that have been corrupted psychically. We've kind of established that as a setting that there's psychic forces that are around everywhere. Sometimes they get into people or creatures, and his particular organization isn't about just killing them, but about trying to free them from that, bring them back from the brink of that. But he was a hotshot early on, and he managed to get most of his team killed. And the survivor essentially has kind of blackmailed him into kind of continuing on with this in a kind of nasty way. Essentially took his arms, replaced them with mechanical bionic arms, and has a dead man switch for those. But he has been a self-centered, terrible person, and he's been trying to turn the page on that. So I have the augmented for the arms. That's one of the paths I have. The Slayer to represent like his training, and then the Loyalist, which is about assisting people. So those are kind of the focus that I have for my character. He is disliked by members of his particular faction, but he is going to press on despite that.
So I have added after last time a factions tab, which
Okay.
you might want to check out and just see that, because what I've done is to use the prompts inside Starforged to just come up with some ideas, and then I've tried to rough those out into something that makes narrative sense. So have a look at that and make sure that I've phrased some of that accurately.
Oh, very
And the
nice. I really like that.
same goes when I come to Will, Relic, and the Scourgesworn. Another word I may struggle to say. So thanks for that, Lowell. Let's move on to Sabine. Tell us about tomorrow's dance.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I am going to play tomorrow's dance. You can call her Tom. Oh, she's a she, they. I'm so sorry. You can call her Tom for short. She comes from a people who are traveling in a generational ship, not a huge one, but a village, good village-sized one, right? Was not a single ship, was an amalgamate of a lot of ships. And then one day, yeah, something happened, and they all were dead and gone and dead. And anyway, Tom survived because she was somewhere else at that time and took one of the surviving ships. And yeah, well, there she is now. She wants to know what happened to her people, though. What did that to them? Right? That's not.
And that explains the sleuth path.
Yeah, that's the sleuth path. The scoundrel
I,
path
I am
comes.
curious, does the scoundrel part reflect why she wasn't with this clan, this
Yes.
family, whatever? So, right, doing
Yeah,
something.
she was out scouting, getting stuff we needed because we're not a warrior like we weren't warrior like people. We like to talk to people. We brought songs and stories to people. And sometimes they were grateful and kind and nice, and sometimes they were less so. And if they were less so, well, we would leave, and then some of us would come back and maybe make them wish they had been kind, right?
Take some good stuff.
Well, I mean, it's only fair, right? We gave them
fair
stuff.
Fair payment.
Yes, yes.
And you do have a protocol bot.
I do have a protocol bot who's named Error, ERR0R, because well, it's not a Star Wars protocol droid, obviously, but yeah, the naming conventions are kind of similar.
Enough said.
Yeah.
I do want you to describe this protocol bot, though.
Oh,
is this a walking bot, or is this just a little kind of floating bot? Because we don't have AI, remember?
Oh, right, we don't have AI. I think it's kind of looks like a kind of pet or something, like with a huge head and two round eyes that like make it look cute. Something you wouldn't immediately attack or something, and it can give me a lot of information about customs and stuff like that. It's not self-willed usually. But Tom might think that Error has their own ideas about stuff and their own tendencies to describe stuff, like it has a bias maybe, but that might just be Tom.
That's just its programming.
Yeah, but somebody programmed that.
Fine, thank you for that. Last but not least, Will, tell us about Call Spurned, sorry.
All Star Spurned, otherwise known as Relic. He was banished from his particular colony, I think, for delving too deep within the forbidden ruins that surrounded it, where he came across a legendary relic of the Forge, a mythical iron blade.
What happened?
Well, you okay, Sabine?
Oh, sorry. I'm not muted.
I didn't think my backstory was that impressive. Found a mystical iron blade, which gives him Blade Master. The Sunder Shard, taking it from those before those who seek it could find it. A cult known as the Scourgesworn, who are a nebulous doomsday cult dedicated to the doom that came to the homeworlds, are now hunting for the Sunder Shard and for the one who carries it.
Yeah, so just let me be clear here. You were never a member of the cult.
No, what it is it's like Indiana Jones found the Ark before the Nazis, right? And they hunted him down. So like when I found it, they were looking for it too.
Okay.
You know?
That's fine. But the other thing I just want to make sure that you mean what you say when you say that it is the Sunder Shard which grants you the Blade Master path. Just if you connect those two.
Oh, I think it's more the case of so one of the advances in the Blade Master is that you have a iconic weapon, right? Mm-hmm. I think until I get that, that's the only bit that's dependent upon the Sunder Shard. I think Relic has become a Blade Master through carrying Sunder Shard.
Fine. Yeah, I don't.
I was just trying to do your, former member of the Even Heart Redeemers makes you a Slayer. He hasn't lost that since not being a member of the Even Heart Redeemers, right?
No, yeah. Fine. No, it's just given it's got this kind of slightly mystical connection. I wanted to make sure that if I took it away from you, you would still be a Blade Master, and you will be. That's fine.
Hey, can you even take it away? Yeah, I guess you probably can, because it's just an item at the moment, right?
It's but just this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, they will take it away from me when I fill up that fugitive clock.
Yeah, yes. Our setup last time was that you're on Orbaris 5, which is a deep space station. It's quite high tech, lots of automation. I think probably in the opening bits, this time round. We'll see, lots of sort of small. Again, I get the sense that bots here are not large and articulate, but they're kind of clumpy and not very articulate, or very small. And so there are a variety of these pre-programmed bots going around fulfilling their programming, maintaining the station. And the human component of this, so far we've only met Snipe, your contact on Arbaris 5. Snipe is a worker in the in hydroponics. And the workers are really there to try and, he harvests the food, but he really doesn't understand necessarily the systems that keep the hydroponics running. That's all in the programming of that they inherited when they use this ship. It's stationary in deep space. Everybody knows where it is. And I guess that you came across that body that was aged and weathered and wrinkled. And I'm going to ask Lowell to rename himself, because I will keep forgetting it. You are Raven. That Raven did a little bit of digging based on his training and has concluded that this person was killed by the spirit hunters, and this is the fifth, I think, in the recent past death by a similar means. What passes for the authority on Arbaris 5, a criminal syndicate called the Jackals of the Infernal Pact. They're saying this is rubbish. There's no hauntings. There's no spiritual stuff here. Just get on with life. However, you believe that there is something amiss, and you have sworn an iron vow to that effect. And I'll remind you that the iron vow currently says, end the spirit hunter threat on Arbaris 5. How do you intend to proceed? I think I start here with Corbin Darsk. I mean, you are the closest we have to a monster hunter. How would you proceed?
I think I will turn to Cinderwing and say, seems to me there are two approaches to this. We can either look at the monstrous component of it, which is my forte, or perhaps we can look at the human component of it, see who might be involved with this, which I think is more your forte.
I concur. Yeah, that seems to be a wise idea, to go at this and to look at both things. And I think if we follow up with the human connection first, we might very well find the monster connection. And there I will leave you to stand and
I think that's a
thing with the monster.
That sounds great. I will let's have you lead the investigation, and I'll help out where I can.
So so I guess, Cinderwing, set a scene for me then. What do I see as this investigation proceeds? And then we'll work out whether Raven and Relic are with you or elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, sorry. That's being in my throat. Apologies. Anyway, I think we spoke with the person who found the dead body,
Snipe.
right?
I think you were practically at his shoulder when he found it.
Yeah. But the dead person, we know who that was?
He can tell you who that was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Her name was Nellie Omana.
Nellie Omana. Okay. So what I try first is try to has she friends, relatives, people who should be notified, people we should talk to, because maybe she wasn't, it wasn't an accident that she was targeted, right?
But Stifle, you saw the body.
Yeah.
I mean, and your friend said that's spirit hunters.
Yes.
So I mean, how do you annoy a spirit hunter? I mean, it's kind of it's a ghost, isn't it?
If it's a ghost, then it was once a person and will still have a reason for what it did. don't you think?
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, she's got someone she lives with, down on deck 20.
Okay.
I can give you her, where to find them.
That would be
So,
appreciated.
are you're gonna go and give them the bad news then?
I think someone has to, right?
Yeah. Well, that'd be great. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Sure.
I'll just, I'll just log it in with the supervisor.
Yeah, and if you find anything around here, I mean, who will take care of the body? Have we searched? Just a question. Did we search the body? I think
you didn't search the body.
Oh, well, then we should maybe do that, right?
I'm not going to make you roll for that. I think you go through the pockets and it's what you'd expect, really. There's an ID card. There's there's some small change in credit form. Just somebody doing their job. Another hydroponics worker.
So this is where she actually was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll talk to the boyfriend, but I also need to know who comes and goes and if anything weird has happened in the last few days, cycles, whatever we call these things between we sleep and we not sleep.
Yeah, Snipe says, yeah. I mean, they're at the 4 deaths.
Oh,
just like this one.
And they were all here.
No, scattered all over.
Yeah, okay.
But just the bodies look just like this.
I know. I'm aware. I heard that.
I mean, is that weird enough for you?
That is very weird, yes. But I was talking about stuff leading up to the death. Understand? Something that might have foreshadowed this.
I suppose I need to know which of these leads you want to follow. Do you want to do some general digging on what's been going on the station, or do you want to focus on the partner?
With the 4 death, I would like to focus on general patterns and stuff like that. I will talk to the partner, of course, but
Well, let's come to this after you've done a bit. Yeah. So where do I see you putting your ear to the ground? And are you alone or with Darsk and or Relic?
If Darsk and or Relic want to come along, I would like to have someone as a sounding board, someone to brainstorm, someone to look at stuff that I might have overlooked.
Raven, you in?
100%. I say I can check for the signs that I will see, normal tracks or other psychic signs. It does mean Relic would kind of need you to be the strong arm in this.
Well, you can take care of each other, surely. I thought I might poke my nose around some of the more isolated parts of the station and just see if I turn anything up.
Okay.
So let's cut to.
I say, as you wish. I don't think it's a great idea for us to split up. But if that is what you want to do, then go ahead.
Please don't turn up, Dad.
100%.
Well, if I do, avenge me.
It would not aid our cause if we have to avenge you as well.
We've already sworn to avenge one group of people. What's one more?
I've got a couple other avenge lists, so you might go down a few.
I'm wounded.
I'm sorry.
As long as you can fit me in on the bottom, that would be fine.
I will.
Well, good luck.
So set me a scene then, Cinderwing. Where do we see you? How do we see you putting your ear to the ground?
Okay, so these place I will just check. First of all, I need a map, and I'm going to check where people were found and what these areas had in common and who would be close. Are they all close to a bar or something? Is there some common denominator, right?
Fine. So let's have you use that sleuth.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because you saw the Iron Vow last time, then when you gather information in the course of the investigation, roll 3 challenge dice and choose 2. If any challenge dice match, you must use those values.
May I, since this is my role here,
Mhm.
I would like to aid
Nice.
an ally,
Mm.
and that allows me to either secure an advantage or gain ground. And I think this is secure advantage. In that, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the map that Cinderwing has. I'm listening to what Cinderwing is saying, and I'm looking for the things that maybe they haven't spotted, trying to avoid pointing out things that they have, or avoiding trying to repeat, to tell them what to do, but to just try to find the small overlooked things there.
Does this sound to you like you are you're focusing on this? This is observation, expertise, focus. Roll with wits.
Yeah, that seems fair to me.
Okay, go ahead. I remember you got an extra +1.
Yes.
Now, I have created in the saved rolls something called an action roll, which will roll the right set of dice. If you just click the action roll.
But we need 2d10s and 1d6 usually, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the action roll does that now.
Yeah, but I can just put them in my dice pool.
Oops, I can't sign in yet, so I will use the standard one. It's doing that thing for me. Okay. But I've got the dice. So the D6 is going to add a 3.
Okay.
And then the 2d10. So the D6 is a 9.
Ooh.
The D10s are a 2 and a 4.
Wow.
So that is a strong hit.
It is.
Wow.
On a hit, you succeed. On a strong hit, take both. And both means add 2 to your momentum to start with.
Okay.
Sorry, that's Corbin.
No. It actually affects
you're quite
Cinderwing.
right.
I do get a momentum because I did an aid, so that will go up. But Cinderwing, you'll raise your momentum by 2.
Okay.
And you'll get +1 on your move.
Okay, I increase my momentum by 2,
and
I get +1 on my move. That means it's D6 plus what do I roll? Plus wits?
Well, so how are you coming at this?
I think with expertise, knowledge, and observation mostly.
Okay,
I think observation is mostly what I'm doing, because I would love to be sneaky and cunning about it, but it doesn't seem really relevant here. So I am fine with doing wits. Wits is +2. Then I got +1 from LOL. That's +3, right?
Not bad.
Do I get something else? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Okay, modifier 3.
So just so I'm clear, this is gather information. You're
Yeah.
on. Yeah. So you're going to roll. So you're going to roll 3 challenge dice and choose 2 that you want to.
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly. See how this goes. Oh well. My D10s. Oh, I'm sure I've rolled a D6 as 3, but that gives me a 6. And then I can choose the 2 1s from the D10s or the 5. It doesn't really matter. It's better than any of these.
Well, it does, because if you choose, if you get on your challenge dice what's called a match, which is both of them are the same, and you still exceed them, then you have a strong hit with a match.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes that gives you more. No, I'm not yet familiar with this move, so let's have a look.
So if I take the 2 1s and still exceed, I can take the 1 and the 5 and still exceed them. So.
For gather information, there isn't a bonus on the match, but it's one mechanically for you to keep an eye on. You discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn. Add to momentum, and I will tell you what you learn. What you learn is that when you map out where the bodies have been found, and kind of draw lines between them to try and work out if there's any location that in any way makes any sense in terms of somewhere they have in common, you don't find anything in their background that is something they have in common. They're from different parts of the station. Some of them are workers, some of them are, in the vice business, some of them are in the protection business. But they are all a similar distance from a part of the map of the station that you have, which is marked Reclamation. Okay, so add 2 to your momentum, and you know that there is, the only link you can find is that they are equidistant from the bit of the map marked Reclamation.
Okay. One question: what do I do with momentum?
Right. Okay.
Because I have a lot of it.
You have a lot of it. It tops out at 10. At any time when you make an action roll, D6, 2 D10s, you can forget about what the D6 and just replace it with your momentum.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then it resets.
Cool. And then it resets, and it will say on your character what the reset is. And I think for all of you at the moment, it's +2.
I do want to say something about the matches as I understand them. So even if it doesn't say a specific match benefit, we do get, like, you can give us something awesome.
I can give you something awesome. I was wanting to ask Corbin what he makes of this before I kind of go to the awesome draw.
I think it definitely says to us that there's some kind of tether, like there's a limit to the range that this thing can activate in, which suggests either there's a den or there's some kind of like psychic power source at that point that it has to return to, or is chained to.
Some kind of anchor, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if we find that thing.
What I think I will tell you is that Reclamation is about the only bit of the station that is entirely automated. People do not come and go to Reclamation. Stuff flows into Reclamation, and good things come out of Reclamation, maybe in the recycling process. Okay.
But if I were an evil cultist, that might be where I hit something bad, or I did some weird rituals or stuff like that.
You might say that. I couldn't possibly comment, but I am going to suggest you mark progress. So if you go to the progress tab, because this is the first time we've marked progress. So up there, top left, end the Spirit Hunters. Now, you'll notice it says this is a dangerous challenge, 2 boxes per progress. So when a move or I say you make progress, what you do is you mark enough of these to fill 2 boxes.
I mark enough of these. Go away.
Yeah?
Well, yep.
Yeah. And I'm not going to explain how progress plays into solving this mystery, but I will do that in a couple of progress boxes time so you can begin to make a judgment about solving it.
We have marked 7.
No, sorry, you fill 2 boxes. Right? So there are 10 boxes in every progress track.
Oh, okay. We fill the boxes, not the little thingies.
The little things at the bottom are simply the way in which boxes are filled. Each box requires 1, 2, 3, 4 marks to fill. Okay. The more significant the challenge, we might have a really formidable challenge where you only fill 1 mark per progress, and it's going to take a long time to fill up that progress track. But for this one, every time you make progress, we will fill 2 of the boxes.
But we have now filled 2 of the on the progress bar, not on the little boxes that we can actually take.
The little boxes are simply there to put marks in the progress track.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say mark progress, it will be mark enough of those little boxes to fill the requisite number of big boxes, which to our thousands of viewers will be entirely incomprehensible.
I don't understand. Why don't we just mark the boxes themselves?
Because for really serious challenges, you will only mark one of those little boxes.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you for explaining that. I was a bit confused here.
So meanwhile, Relic.
Well, I was getting blinded by the reflection of the title. So it's done. So yes, I can.
Are you all right?
There we go.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you just need to position yourself. So
yeah. Well, I was going to head into whichever part of the station nobody goes to, on the basis of that's usually where the scary things are. But that appears to be, fictionally what they've established, right? Is that they must be in reclamation. So I think it's a bit weak for me to just know that and head there.
Yeah, so do I.
So perhaps I think.
I mean, if it helps, I've established in my own mind 4 questions here, and they are where, what, when, how.
Cool.
Now, I think we've narrowed down where.
Mm-hmm.
What, when, how might prompt something.
How?
I mean, there's no reason why you can't try to work out where places people don't go are.
Well, I guess.
Is it just me, or is Will frozen?
It's not just you and Lowly or muted.
Yep, he is frozen.
And he sounded a bit underwater-ish earlier.
Yeah. I wonder if he's getting that. I'm going to assume that he's going to come back in a moment. Oh, you're back.
It's probably
and you're back in the room. It's the sun. You were frozen by the sun. I mean, and now you're muted.
Yeah, to be honest, nope.
Yeah, no, stuff's happening. Do you want to go out?
To me, you all look fine. Like, you all look absolutely fine to me.
Okay, well, you froze for a period of time there, and I think you're roboting a little bit in terms of the audio. You might want to go out and come back. No, I'm not going to ask you where you want to go with this, because it seemed to me that I owe Will the chance to have a bit of a scene. Fingers crossed he can get back in. Let's go again.
I sympathize with his son thing. I actually had to put blackout curtains here behind my screens because I spent a year where the sun would just come right in as I was running, right in my face.
Yeah. The other thing you might want to think about, Will, is the background.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of it.
Putting too much strain on the system. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that's already better.
Oh, if it was an apple. Sorry.
I would never have done it in the first place. It would have never got here.
What do we want to see?
I just need to reframe it a bit in my head, because the thing I said I was going to do is the bit of information that they actually ended up getting. I need to do something else, basically.
You can stick with the narrative, with that idea that you also go off not to find out a connection between the bodies, but to find out where do people not go on the station. Because that's what you'd have to do before you went there.
I know, but they've already done it, right?
Well, they found a place nobody goes.
A place. Okay. Well, given that that's what I said I was going to go do, I'll go do it then. I'll go try and find the place that nobody goes.
So let's have you gather information then.
Yeah.
What do I see you doing?
I think it is asking the people of the station, looking. I think you see me observing, the routes and the traffic and everything like that, and then standing in the thoroughfare and then noticing the one sort of airlock that no one goes through.
Okay, I mean, there are thousands of people on this station.
Yeah.
So I think I'm seeing a montage of you making inquiries, moving around, snooping about. So, and this I think is roll plus wits.
Yes, I think it is always roll plus wits for gather information, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I was mildly hoping for there to be a wrecked part of the station or something, because one of my moves is when you gather information in a ruin wreck or uh, or abandoned site.
Well,
But
let's see what gather information tells you.
yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. I've just no, you went again.
no,
Right.
no, I just clicked on the wrong one on the dice.
Okay.
So it is 1d6, 2d10s, is that right?
Yeah. Always one. Well,
Oh, you've got it saved actually, haven't you? 10-sided
yeah.
challenge and action die.
Just click on action roll and it will do the business.
+1 for wits. Not great.
So, gosh, a 2 and a 1. Oh, that's odd. Can I just try that? Did you click on the action roll?
I clicked on roll. I clicked on challenge and action die.
Ah, no, right. If you go to saved rolls.
Oh, I see.
And there's a button, yeah, and because that will roll the requisite number of the requisite dice, or at least it should do. Give it a go.
No, I need to log in to access saved rolls. I think they're only saved for you as opposed to all of us.
Oh, so you can't see action roll in there? Ah,
No.
fine. Okay, I beg your pardon. Right.
I can see 6-sided action.
Okay, no, it doesn't matter. So I've got
10-sided challenge dice, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So 3 plus 1 for wits. 4, that's a weak success unless you've got something you want to throw at it.
Can I spend momentum?
Your momentum is currently 2, so you'd replace the 3 and the 3 plus 1 with 2.
See.
Yeah.
Replace
So
the value of your momentum. You don't spend it. Right.
Yeah. So that is a weak hit on gather information.
I'll take a weak hit.
The information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover, then take 1 momentum. Okay, we'll add 1 momentum. And I will tell you that the complication is that access to Reclamation, nobody goes to Reclamation, but the only access anybody knows about to Reclamation is via a casino in a space run by the Jackals.
So the route to Reclamation is behind a casino run by the Jackals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you can find some way to break into it, but that's the way to go.
Cool.
Once you get in there, then if it is, or if you can find a ruin, then fine and dandy, you can use your scavenger move.
Well, I'd just be using gather information again. So
fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that moves our progress on.
No, I don't think it does at all. Because I would literally
it just gives you a preparation.
More of the, I think, I don't know, I'd be happy for my attempt to, wander around looking for trouble, having borne no fruit whatsoever, and to meet up with the others again.
At the casino?
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, they go, there's this place called Reclamation. Yeah, I've heard, but you have to go through the big house to get there.
Let me be clear. It's not that you have to go through the casino to get Reclamation. That's the only bit of accessible station adjacent to Reclamation. So people don't go to Reclamation. Yeah, it's as far as people are concerned, it's a sealed box. But the only bit of the station adjacent to the sealed box is a casino. Okay. So, Corbin, let me ask you, what if you are going to meet up with Relic at the casino? What are you doing?
Yeah, I do think it is that we, like, I assume we can message, like, communicate within the station.
Yeah. Unless I put something in your way.
I'll say.
We could check for gear to see if we have comms.
Oh God, no! I'm not going to make you roll for that. Trivial.
Because that was what I was going to do before going down the repetition route.
Say, Relic, if we meet up with you at the casino, Do you think that there's some way that we can slip from there over to Reclamation? Or is that a bad route to go by?
Well, no one in the station seems to know how to get into Reclamation. Just the casino is the only habited section that is adjacent to it. Perhaps the Jackals know. All I can think of otherwise is we get in the ship and we see if there's a route through the hull.
Oh, we could try to go through the casino. I mean, we're not really enemies with the Jackals, are we?
Not yet.
No.
Yet, okay, I hear you, but and I'm sure they don't remember that one business thing. It's a long time ago. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I've found routes to places where I may not have been strictly allowed to go. So I'd be willing to go and try out if this works there.
And I think Raven's like not wanting to say, yes, I really would like to go to the casino, but because he knows that that's bad for him. But he says, why don't we go there and see if we can spot a route, and maybe we can like ask around there, and maybe we'll pick up other information while we're there. As we casually like hang out, have a drink, maybe throw a few dice, or not, whatever your preference.
Well, I think it's a good idea to distract some people, maybe. Also, I feel like, I mean, this could just be a ghost awoken by, I don't know, something that broke down, but it might also be that there's actual people around behind this. And I want to see if they will have a route in, right?
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Relic, you in?
I'm proud to be part of this plan.
I think you hear the noise of the pachinko machine behind him. And he says, yeah, I'll meet you there. 2 on red.
I will just remind you, don't forget your fugitive move.
Oh, I know, yeah, but I mean,
okay, no, as long as I just don't want you to miss it.
It's defunct, it was a defunct move locked in from a character choice that I made that immediately became pretty redundant, basically.
Fine. So the casino, tell me something about this casino, Relic, that makes it an attractive place that draws people in.
So this casino has a very unique and eccentric anti-gravity field. Basically, like people can use they've got the gambling floor because people like to sit down while they're doing it. But then you have the fighting ring at the top where people place bets upon things, and that is upside down on top of it. So everyone can just look up to see what's going on above them. And the audience can ring around the entire walls, basically.
I think that's bonkers.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
That's fine. So clearly that's why people come. Corbin, you strike me as someone who has reason to fear bad people. What is it that worries you about this place?
It is more that there are people that might know me and know me as somebody in the past who is susceptible to indulgences and gambling and such like that, and might try to draw me into such things.
Goodness me, surely not. And finally, Cinderwing, what do you see here that presents the best opportunity?
The best opportunity. I mean, we're floating around in this zero gravity field, I guess.
Well, let's fill that in from Relic. My sense is that there's each of the walls is down when you're at them.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's neat. Okay, sorry, I did not envision it like that, but
so you can walk up the walls.
That is epic. I think what presents the most opportunity is that a lot of people are actually quite confused by this. and then will maybe not look too closely at what someone else might be doing, because they might think it's just part of the way this place works. And yeah, and also I have a bot that can explain to me clearly how this place works.
Well, yeah, and I've interpreted automations as robot run stuff, but you placed a festival here, and I've said it's always party time. So there are always people coming to Orboris 5 for entertainment. And so, yeah, there are lots of people passing through, and lots of, particularly after a few drinks, people walk up to the wall, and then there's that kind of go on, and they jump up, and suddenly they're at right angles with their friends, and it's hilarious. And then some people misstep and fall off, and it's just so much. It's hilarious. What are you going to do, Relic?
I think we need to find whoever's in charge here, right? Like, because we still don't know how to actually get into Reclamation. So I think maybe like sitting down at a dealer's deck as they play some obtuse, cabas, maybe.
With peculiarly shaped cards.
Yeah.
So you're looking for who's in charge.
Tetrahedrons.
Yes, yeah. Hey friend, I need to find a way to Reclamation.
Let's I think this requires you to make friends and influence people, doesn't it?
Okay, so is this a connections?
I think well, I wasn't going to go that way. I was going to go with when you try to persuade someone or make them an offer. I think it's more the compel move.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Than a connection.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone you're going to meet at a card table here is going to be a connection worth logging in the future. Unless
I didn't want to start adding every NPC to the connections.
So it sounded like this was the charming Relic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is roll with heart.
Yes. Which I was just debating whether or not I would switch out my 2 in heart for 2 in wits, but I didn't like the idea of being cowardly. So there we go. Well, not cowardly, but heart is your stat for courage as well, basically. So anyways, 6-sided, and that is a 5 on the action die.
Okay, I just need to see where I'm seeing that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. 3 plus 2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with the modifiers.
So that is a weak hit unless you want to mark your fugitive clock.
Sure. And mark. What is it to get a strong hit? Is it a 6?
You just know what. Have you got enough to beat 3? Sorry, enough to beat 1. Oh no, you haven't got enough to beat 8. I'm sorry, I'm being stupid. No.
Oh, sorry,
no, but your fugitive die doesn't do anything with momentum. It just makes it a strong hit.
Yeah. No. So the thing I keep forgetting is that to get a strong hit, you need to beat the challenge die. Is that right?
You have to beat them both.
Beat both of the challenge die. But
beat one of them, it's a weak hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I improve the result to a strong hit, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. Because that's what it's there for, right?
Okay, you'll find a condition meter at the bottom that you've marked a 1. Which turns out into a strong hit. So on a strong hit, they'll do what you want or agree to your conditions, take +1 momentum. So take +1 momentum, and the young man who's dealing these obscurely shaped pieces of plastic says, oh, well, I'll go and introduce you to Jaws.
Jaws?
Yeah, Mandan Jaws. He's the kind of floor boss. He's my boss. He knows stuff.
Great. Well, I'll be anytime.
Because nobody gets into Reclamation. I don't think you'll know. I mean, because everybody knows Reclamation's kind of sealed, apart from where you put the bodies and shit in. Oh, that
bodies shit goes. Oh, is that where everything goes into?
Yeah, Reclamation is where everything's reclaimed from. So, rubbish, trash, bodies, sewage, it all goes into reclamation.
And nothing comes out of reclamation?
Oh, yeah. So, we get energy, we get, if you're really desperate, there's food pellets, we get lots of stuff. This, what do they say? We're a sealed system.
Well, I, toss my dodecahedron cards down on the table and say, well, I can't wait to meet yours.
I'm inclined to mark progress because I think Mandan draws may be the link you need. So again, well, if you want to go to the progress track and now mark another 8 little boxes.
Mm-hmm. It's very satisfying filling in those 4 boxes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it very satisfying? And Mandan Jaws, Darsk, Cinderwing, do you go with Relic or just keep a watching brief?
I think I will stay behind, sneak around a little, Okay. I'll keep an eye on you. Sorry, Lowell, I can't hear you.
So yeah, I agree with you. Like, someone needs to survey the span of the casino to see what's going on in general. So I'm gonna mingle.
You just want to.
I think you've just set up to face danger, haven't you? The temptation of this den of vice. Yes. Are you seeking to avoid this through resolve? Ooh. Or are you just going to give in and gamble? You don't have to roll. You could just get sucked in.
No, I think I need to resist this.
Okay, so I am thinking it is heart, it is willpower, it is just I've got a job to do.
Gonna roll. So, that is a 4 on the die. Total with my heart. It's beat. It's not match or beat, right?
No, it is beat. Absolutely. So that is a matched fail.
Now, that's really bad. So I may here want to, if I burn momentum, I can burn it afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And my die roll becomes what I rolled on the momentum, what I spent on the momentum.
Yeah.
Plus the stat.
Yep.
Then I'm going to burn my +3 momentum to make that a 6.
Fine.
Reset back down to 2.
Exactly. So, and that turns a strong miss, I think, into a strong hit.
Yes.
With a match. Gee whiz. So this, you don't even come close. It's that scene where you're moving through the crowd and people are offering you, drugs on plates, and there's that attractive waft of something, but no, you're on the case. But I should give you some significant benefit coming out of this, shouldn't I? So what can I give you?
Maybe I spot somebody that I can point Cinderwing towards.
You take +1 momentum for a start.
Okay.
And you notice that in the top corner, you can see that there are bots coming and going through what looks like a vent of some description. Just little hovering, spherical bots.
Then I will catch Cinderwing's eye and kind of point up towards the vent.
Relic. Mandan Jaws is a burly man, heavily tattooed, with what appear to be a variety of different jaws. He's stripped to the waist to show the tattoos off.
And not to break into you, but can I do something as well?
Oh, sorry, yeah, fine. Sorry, I thought you were. I don't think you're going to get there before this happens, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
because it's all the way up there. Yeah. So I want to give Relic a chance just to talk to Mandan before I decide, before you tell me, because I think I know what you're going to try. So Relic, he wants to know, what do you want?
I want to get into reclamation, my friend.
You want to get into reclamation? That could be arranged.
I want to get in there on my own 2 feet.
But it's just kind of grinding, and it makes stuff small and then burns it or reprocesses it. You don't want to go in there, friend. That's a short route to being diced and sliced.
Well, things seem to be coming out of reclamation. That's the problem. People are dying. Something's prowling the station.
Oh, come on. You're not one of these freaks. You're not one of these freaks that says the place is haunted. Please tell me that's not true.
Haunted? Infested, maybe?
Look. These are just unfortunate deaths as far as we're concerned, and you get the distinct impression he's speaking on behalf of the Jackals here. As far as we're concerned, business is fine. If you start talking about hauntings, I'd have to close the place, wouldn't I?
Yeah, which is why I came to you, so we could do this discreetly. All I'm saying is, we slip into reclamation, we poke around, doesn't have to cause any trouble for you or yours. No one hears anything about it. And if, people stop dying of natural causes, then no one will start asking any questions, right?
And he kind of looks at you and says, what's in it for you?
Helping a friend. Fulfilling a promise. A vow, you might say.
Oh, the word vow gets a reaction.
Mm.
Okay, I need to make a call. Don't move. Goes off. Cinderwing. You see that Relic's having a conversation over there with a big bloke, tattooed bloke. You've seen Corbin catch your eye and just, indicate where some bots are coming and going. What do we see you doing?
Bots coming and going sounds interesting, because bots have access to the reclamation thingy, right?
They have access to the entire station as far as any common knowledge.
So can I just take error and kind of push it so it will go in, and then I have to follow, obviously, right?
So because you're going to walk up there?
I mean, I don't walk up there. I'm going to sneak up there.
Well, there's people coming and going on all the walls. This is just in one corner, just near the ring.
Yeah, I don't want people to pay attention to me, is what I'm saying. I'm not sneaking,
No.
I'm just sidling up and then I'm in. Oops, I'm just following my bot. Got lost.
Yeah, before you get too carried away, these bots are small, and so is the vent.
Okay, so I don't fit.
The vent is big enough to get a bot into.
Okay.
But not big enough to get you into.
But I can get Error into it.
I think Error could probably walk in there in that slightly. But what are you hoping? So you want it? What are you telling Error to do? Because simple instructions, right? No AI, no self-willed.
Oh, okay. I thought I could get into there, actually. So that was the reason why I went there.
You go there and you examine the surrounds. You think, is there a way? Is there panels here? That, I think, is where your scoundrel might play in.
Mm-hmm.
When you make a move by lying, bluffing, stealing, or cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply to burglary?
Yes, that's stealing.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So let's have you roll with scoundrel then.
Okay. I would also, if this is just sneakiness, because I really want to sneak in there, I don't want to make people pay attention. I can just roll with my ad shadow and don't have to use the
So I think this is face danger with shadow.
Okay, then we'll do that, because that's +3 as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yep, that is a strong hit.
So just to be clear, you've got plus what for Shadow? 3.
+3.
Fine. 7. Strong hit. On a strong hit, you are successful. Take 1 momentum. There is, while the vent is small, you think that you could probably open the panel next to it. And that might then, you know, when you set error down to just have a look in, and it reports back that there's a bigger hole on the inside than there is on the outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me come back round to Corbin.
Can I try to at least see if that is true? That, I mean, it was strong hit, right?
Okay.
So can I do I have a way in?
Yes.
Question. Okay.
Do you want to take it or wait for company?
I'll signal the 2 of them that I'm going in. Like I will go in and then wait. Because if something attacks me and throws me out, then we'll know what's what.
Relic. Jaws comes back and he says, I've made an inquiry and put it this way. We won't get in your way.
Sounds good to me.
You end up as my next burger, fine. But otherwise, this problem goes away. Maybe it's you, maybe it just goes away.
Hey, the house always wins, right?
And he gives you a chip. And he just puts a squiggle on the back of it and says, you know, any of my guys get in your way, you show them this.
Pick it up and say, and what's this worth on the table?
Oh, I've ruined it. It's worth nothing now.
I put it into one of the pouches on the outside of my vest, I think, and say, now, if only I knew what way I was going.
And that, I think, is when Cinderwing comes over the comms to say, what, Cinderwing?
I think I got a way in.
It is 7 minutes past the hour. I'm going to suggest we take our first break now. Is back at 1:15 enough? Mm-hmm. Okay, see you at 1:15. I'm going to cut, unless you want to do anything else, to what I've called on the progress tab, the innards of the machine. Corbin, was that a...
That was absolutely. Go ahead.
Fine.
Are we undertaking an expedition?
You are going to undertake an expedition through the bowels of the machine. Yeah. And that you might want to pay attention to the exploration and suffer. I don't know why they're on the same page. Who knows? Expedition and suffer. Undertake an expedition. I've made this a troublesome one. I'm more interested in this stage in our series of exploring the way the moves work than I am in really making life difficult for you. So I've made this just a troublesome challenge, which means that every time you make progress, you'll mark 3 of those boxes. And that will allow us to then engage with, well, how do progress tracks work? I hope. So I'm going to put Relic at the sharp end of this, I think, because he's the closest we've got to someone who's used to kind of lurking about in complex, difficult situations with the scavenger. I don't think the scavenger move applies, because I think it's not an abandoned location. It's a busy location, as indicated by the stream of little servitor bots, you know, about the size of a small football, who are buzzing back and forth through this network of tunnels and grinding machinery. And I'm reminded of Galaxy Quest, but that was probably not where I should go in terms of tone. But forgive me for that. So yeah, we are going to undertake an expedition, and I think that I need to know from Relic Are you wanting to do this at pace? Are you wanting to do this secretly and quietly so no one or nothing will notice? Or are you looking to do this slowly and with great vigilance? Edge, shadow, or wits?
I think in Relic's experience, active machinery is best not lingered in, because you never know when some component or other is going to, swing out. The fire is going to erupt from the pit. Pneumatic hammer flash down upon you. It is all about carefully but quickly moving through there. So yeah, at speed.
Roll plus edge.
I just realized my VPN is on, which is why I keep getting disconnected from the dice room, I think. So I'm not going to add the modifiers just because I have a feeling that would get added to the action die as well and therefore confuse it.
I think it may well confuse it, yeah. Yeah,
Oof. That's not good.
That's not good, is it?
No.
Of course, if you mark the fugitive clock, that would become a strong hit.
It would become a strong hit, wouldn't it? I mean, let's do it because I also see that the fugitive clock is a speed run towards marking a tick on your quest legacy track if you play your cards right. So, yeah.
Yeah, turn that into a strong hit.
Yeah, and I think maybe the way, just to thematically tie it in is, there is a like a mesh or like a bar across our way at some point, and I draw the Sunder Shard and say stand back and cleave through it with that, leaving behind what to certain mystic cultists may be a sign of my passing.
Yes, and I think we will see a hooded figure walking through the corridors of Orbaris 5 suddenly go, we don't see his face, her face, their face, but that sense of something. And they turn on their heel and begin to walk in a different direction. Because you're now at 2 on that 4 clock, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yes, indeed.
Yeah. But on a strong hit, you reach a waypoint, envision the location, and mark progress per the rank of the expedition. So per the rank of the expedition means that you're going to mark enough of those little boxes to fill 3 of the big boxes.
Nice.
Yeah. And just so you're all kind of thinking about, well, at what point do we complete this progress? At any point, you can say to me, right, I think that round this corner is our objective. And you will then just roll the 2d10s, the challenge dice, and compare your current progress to the challenge dice. So at the moment, you would be hoping that the challenge dice came up as 1s and 2s.
Yeah. I see. It would be quite, yeah.
And the higher the progress, the more in your favor that begins to swing. Yeah.
I quite like that. So but on a strong hit, I envisage the location of this waypoint, right? A notable location along this route of the innards of the machine, right?
Yeah.
I would quite like to throw that out to my fellow party members if possible.
Fine.
So, Sabine, do you have any ideas about what sort of location
you've got
within the gubbins of this reclamation area? I'm just imagining Recyc from Judge Dredd, frankly, so it's not helping. Recyc in Judge Dredd is all I'm imagining, a big conveyor belt where dead bodies drop onto. And
I would like to slow down on the cannibalism part of this whole equation.
No, I know, yeah.
So it's not where the bodies drop. No, I don't like that. I think this is more like where the droids repair it themselves. Like it's an area where the bots are sitting around and repairing each other, right? So this is a little quieter. It's less hectic, and there is for whatever reason there is some kind of music playing in the background, like.
And I'm imagining these kind of football-sized shaped droids kind of bots sitting in kind of cradles next to one another, and it's almost like they're primates, just preening one another, and until you see a light go green, and then it kind of zzzt and sets off again. I like that. I think that the next step through here, because you're deep enough in the machine now, perhaps, Raven, for your kind of monster hunter slayer to play a part. When you make a move to investigate, track, or stalk an inhuman foe, add 1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. We're still going to use, with the undertake an expedition,
right?
But with that in mind,
let's imagine tracking. I think is probably what's going on here.
And is there something you're looking for?
I think it actually is that, because we kind of talked a little bit about this, that we know that these creatures have a psychic aspect to them. So I think it is that I have my blade, like it's still in the sheath, but I have it in my hand, and I've opened it up a little, and I'm moving it along, trying to manifest any trace evidence. It's almost like a black light kind of thing. To cause it to appear there.
Fine. So apply that Slayer to undertake an expedition. It sounds like this is vigilance at work.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's the one that seems to fit to me. So it's roll plus wits with the benefit of the Slayer move.
So I'm rolling. The D6 is going to have a +3 added to it. So that is a 7. So that is a strong hit.
Strong hit. You're going to get 1 momentum from the Slayer move. Come what may. Isn't that what it says? Or have I misread it?
No, you're right.
And you're going to mark another 3 boxes on the progress.
That is satisfying.
It's very satisfying. Cinderwing, Relic has got you through the most dangerous bits of this. Corbin is proceeding now using this strange kind of, his connection to the psychic world that he's been trained in. The progress has got 6 filled. Do you want to take a chance on getting to the end of this trip through the reclamation system, or do you want to continue to try to make progress? So you might get to 9.
Which sounds like I don't know.
I mean, mechanically, it's, do you want to make a roll now?
Yeah, I know what you
progress.
I know what you mean.
Which risk do you want to take?
6 seems like it could be very like we could win this, right? With weak hit at least. So yeah, I mean, sure, it's there. But I would like to look around fictionally, around and see if I can find a trace of someone else, human or otherwise sentient, who has mucked around here. Because we have the trace of the spirit and stuff like that, but I'm still looking if something set this off, and I'm looking for the cause of that. I don't know what I need to roll for this, but that's what I would like to do.
I think it sounds like gather information again.
Yeah.
And anything in the sleuth part of that. And if you make success with this, then I'll mark progress. So let's have you gather information, roll plus wits, but apply.
I have a question. If I mark progress with this, can we then add the progress to the original mystery and not to the we are making incursion here?
No, this is innards of the machine.
So it's basically...
No, I should ask you, do you want to make progress through the innards of the machine, or do you want to address the vow?
I want to address the vow.
Fine. Let's see if you can...
would like to do, because I think, we that's why we got here. But mechanically, it doesn't make a lot of sense to get up to a 9 because
No,
I think
fine.
we can beat this with a 6. But
I'm
I
with
still
you.
want to look around. But this is the point where I have the opportunity, right, to find this information. So I would like to sleuth this a little.
Fine. Sleuth away.
Yeah, I'm sleuthing away now. Where do you go? I need another D10. There you go. And I roll with +2, right, for wits, I guess.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Oh, that goes swimmingly. Strong hit.
You're gonna choose the 2s, I guess.
I have to choose the 2s. It's a strong hit on a match then.
So a strong hit on a match. I am going. Well, mark progress. Mark 2, enough of the small boxes to fill 2 on the vow. And I think what I can tell you is that you you see some of the servitor bots that are passing up and down these corridors, these passages, these ducts, in many cases, that you're crawling along. Some of them are carrying what looks to be nutrient fluids.
Odd.
But only some of them are carrying nutrient fluids. And this might well clue you into the fact that there is something more going on here than simply spiritual.
Yeah.
Because if this was just a ghost,
ghosts don't need nutrients.
And you've noticed these from almost the start. But now almost all the bots heading in one direction are carrying some of this, one of these little nutrient bags, like a sealed blood bag almost.
Interesting. I will point this out to the others and steal one of those. Just
fine. I'll just let you take it. What do you want to do with it?
Oh, nothing. I will just take it.
Oh, you just want it? Okay. No, I
just want it. I will look at it later on, but for now, I just want it.
Well, you see, I mean, I was wondering whether you wanted to, for instance, check your gear to see if you had anything that might analyze its contents.
Not right now. I mean, this is clearly some nutrient, and maybe I will taste it later. But
okay. The look on Dark's face, he knows better than to taste stuff you find in these circumstances.
I know better than that. That's why I'm not trying it now.
So we're on 6 on the progress track. Does anybody want to try? Is the consensus that you want to try to, finish the expedition through the innards of the machine, or do you want to continue a bit further to improve the chance of finishing the expedition successfully? Corbin, let me ask you.
Well, I know if I leave it to Will, Will's going to go for it. So I might as well go for it.
Right. Well, let's have you roll a pair of challenge dice, i.e. the 2d10s, and we will compare 6 to them to see whether you finish the expedition.
Okay. Rolling. Weak hit.
A weak hit. Finish expedition. You reach your destination or complete your survey. Mark a reward at your discovery on your discovery's legacy track per expedition's rank. So we need to work through this. So you go back to characters, yeah? And can you see you have a set of legacies, which I've now revealed?
Well, I just want to, before we get too deep into that, it was a weak hit, right?
Yeah.
On a weak hit as above, but you face an unforeseen complication at the end of your expedition, mark the legacy reward 1 rank lower.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we knew where the legacy reward was. Okay.
We could look at the boxes that we're not going to tick.
Well, you're going to tick some of them.
Okay.
So reach your destination, include your survey, mark a reward in your discoveries track at expedition's rank, but because it's weak, it's less than 1. I made it too weak for you to get anything. That's an interesting question. I've made this troublesome. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's too trivial a task, the innards of the machine, to give you any benefit. Sorry, on a weak
That's okay.
If we got a strong kit, it would have been one.
It would have been
Yeah.
fine. It would have been fine.
That's the way the dice rolls, right?
But what that does mean is that you enter what appears to be a chamber that doesn't fit with the rest of the way this has been arranged. It's an approximately spherical chamber, and suspended in the middle of it is what looks like some kind of biochemical growth tank, which I have to say, Corbin, is not what you were expecting. And the bots that you've been seeing are depositing these nutrient sacs into this central growth chamber. And in the growth chamber is transparent. You can see fluids in there, but also something moving through the fluids.
One something, more somethings.
I think one something.
Okay.
Then I want to, since we've established that we think that there's some thing, I think our hypothesis here is our anchor is this nutrient tank. So this nutrient tank is likely what's keeping it alive, why it has to come back to here.
You might say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
I know. I want to look around the area and see if I can spot, any other evidence like that someone has come down here, that someone has set this up, that there's some kind of programming. I don't particularly want to touch the tank or go like into the tank or drink from the tank. I'll leave that for Cinderwing for later. But I do want to look around, and I guess I do have one sort of setup question before I do that. The nutrients that are in the tank, the fluid and stuff, it does look like that's what the packages are that
Yes.
it's getting dropped down.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a different liquid. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to look around because I'm convinced. I mean, this is something set up. Somebody had to put this together. Who did this?
Gather information, I think. So let's have you roll with wits.
I think just a +2 because it isn't like directly stalking.
I think that's fair.
A beast.
Oh well, I mean, if you wanted, what does the sword say?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'll call on that.
That will tell you more about the tank and its contents than it will about who might have brought it here. Is that fair?
Yeah, because I think Cinderwing's better skilled at finding out that sort of question than I am. So I do approach the tank more, and I am looking more at the stuff. To reference that Larry Cohen film. I am going to roll now with a +3. So that is a 6. So that is a weak hit.
That's a weak hit. Because I read that the long way round. I saw a 7 and 2 3s and thought bingo, but no, that's a 3
No.
and a 3 and a 7. Okay, so that's a weak hit. A weak hit. You can have +1 momentum plus the 1 that I think your Slayer gives you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And this makes no sense, right? Nothing in the Redeemer's files talk about spirit hunters being cultured. This tank has a psychic presence in it.
Then I will turn to Cinderwing and I'll say, Cinderwing, can you figure out who might have set this up? And then I'll turn to Relic and I'll say, you need to make with the stabbing. There is a psychic force in there.
I don't know. I mean, that nutrient tank looks expensive. not going to destroy anything that they need here, is it?
It's a soul hunter tank. I'm sure it's expensive for someone.
Oh. Well,
it's going to cost them dearly when we get a hold of them.
Music to my ears.
And that, I think, is when you notice that the bots have stopped what they're doing and are instead focused on the three of you.
Maybe you can step for some of the bots first, so I can look around and
pick a target. Any target will do, Relic.
They're just bots. They're not doing anything. They're just watching us. They're too dumb to do anything.
That has to go into the famous last words category, I'm pretty sure.
Because they do begin to drift towards the three of you down there on the floor with this tank hanging above you.
So it's surrounded by like an ever-enclosing circle of droids.
Of small bots.
Yeah,
small floating bots. But there are a couple of handfuls of them at least. I am going to go to you, Relic, because you did draw the sword, or you seem to go in that direction.
Yeah, it's just currently they're just being weirdly threatening, aren't they? As opposed to actually attacking us.
How close do you want to get before you decide whether they're just threatening?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just debating, can I think of a fun sci-fi gadget too? But let's do the blade instead. Let's say, well, this is hardly the fearsome monster I thought we'd be fighting. As I go for a cat-sized droid.
Fine. I've added servitor bots as a progress track.
Cool.
I am going to make these because there are quite a number of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make these dangerous because as they begin to get close, you see that I talked about them having these little probes they were preening with. Well, what you notice is that when they bring two of that, they begin to spark.
Mm.
So they're coming from all directions. Who's got your back, Relic? Anybody but Cinderwing, by the look of it.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
draw out the whistling blade.
In an effort to explore all the rules in this first couple of sessions, you might want to take a look at the flowcharts. There's a flowchart tab, which is in part to help me keep my head on with combat. And there's a flowchart there for combat. When you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, enter the fray. Yeah. And all of these are combat moves, and you'll find that on the combat tab or on the reference if you prefer it. So it looks like Relic and Raven are entering the fray. Cinderwing, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just a tourist. I'm not part of this. I'm just looking at stuff. I'm not destroying anything. I'm just here with my little droid, and we're just beeping happily away.
I suppose what I'm trying to work out, are you assessing a situation in an attempt to gain some leverage?
Yes.
Yeah, so that sounds like secure an advantage. Right, I'll come to you after the rush.
Okay.
And we can work out whether you get caught up in the rush, whether you have the ability to do this. So enter the fray. I think Relic, you were the first target. So enter the fray. When you initiate combat, do we see you moving around? Do we see you facing off,
charging into the thick of it at close quarters? I go for the largest concentration of them, and I think it's a leap forward and a slash down, like
fine. You are on the move. Roll plus edge.
Okay. That's a 4, which is not a hit at all, I think, on a 10 and an 8 on the challenge die.
Right. As the fight begins, you are in a bad spot. And if you look at the flowchart, that determines which part of the flowchart for combat you now
Yeah,
follow.
yeah.
Yeah?
I think there's too many of them, right, for me to be in a good spot, right? Like,
Because they're kind of moving up, they're agile, and you know, when you thought you were going to go at them, they're suddenly all around you. Raven, what about you? Enter the fray? On the move, facing off, in the thick of it at close quarters, preparing to act against an unaware... No, it's not that one. Nor are you caught in a trap. So iron, heart, or edge is what I'm asking.
So I think at first I'd kind of plan to maybe get relics back to assist it, you know, as is my want, but I think there's too many of them.
And also he rushed at them.
Yeah. So I think it is me drawing out the blade and kind of flexing, and I imagine that there's like a popping, and I think the sleeve kind of auto rolls up on the arm to expose that metal arm, and I'm gonna stand and face off against them.
Fine. So that is roll plus heart, I think.
Absolutely. So that is 8 on the D6 and 5 and 3. So that is a strong hit.
On a strong hit, you take 2 momentum, and you are also in control. And that determines a route through combat for you until things change.
Okay.
So you have the option, are you in control? Yes. When you attack a foe, strike, or when you reinforce your position and move forward towards an objective, i.e. try to knock some of them out, gain ground. In the case of not in control, Relic, you have the option to react under fire or clash. Okay?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I just trying to work out what I react under fire. On a strong hit, you succeed in in control. You avoid the worst of the danger. On a clash, yeah, I mean clash when I'm in a bad spot and I fight back against a foe at close quarters.
Fine, I'll come to you in a moment, but because I think I need to check on Cinderwing, because Cinderwing's looking to secure an advantage here.
I think do I have to react under fire? Because there are a lot of bots.
I'm prepared to treat the scoundrel bit of this as allowing you to keep your head down, do something else.
Okay. Cool.
Unless this goes badly and then they notice you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, cool.
So secure an advantage, envisage your action, and roll. So which of those options under secure advantage do you want to describe to me?
I will describe with deception, stealth, or trickery. So I can roll plus shadow. And yeah, what I am doing, I imagine I'm just keeping my head down, ducking into the shadows. This is lighted up well, but I still have my own droid, and maybe that will fool them a little at least, you know, because
certainly it seems like their attention was drawn by the 2 more aggressive actors.
That is why I have 2 more aggressive actors with me to draw away. And
roll plus shadow.
And I do make a move to avoid detection. No, I do. Wait a second. No, when I make a move by lying, bluffing. This is bluffing, right? Is it?
I don't think it is, to be honest. I mean,
okay.
I think that scoundrel is more about interacting with people, if I'm honest. I think I stretched it for burglary.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough. I will then roll this one. And I will set my modifier differently. Well, that didn't go so well. Oh, but I can use my momentum. I can exchange this with my momentum, right?
You can.
For a weak success.
So what's your current momentum?
9.
9.
But
fine. Reduce it to 2, and it becomes a weak success.
Yeah, I'd rather have a weak success than miss in a battlefield situation. I mean,
do you want to take another 2 momentum as an outcome for that, or do you want to add +1 on your next move?
Let me check. There are a lot of tabs. I want to check the move.
I've moved adventure and combat near the flow charts and characters.
On wicked, choose one, take +2, add +1 to your next move. Not a progress move. Okay.
So you can't use that +1 to finish it.
Okay, but I can't use that +1 to gather more information, which then won't go towards progress, which is weird, but okay.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think the fictional position is going to give you that, because you're kind of, you need to resolve this now rather than find more.
Okay, I think I'll take the +1 on my next move though.
And then you could use that, for instance, to enter the fray.
Yeah.
If you chose to.
Yeah,
okay.
Well.
So Relic, did I hear clash? In a bad spot, fight back against a foe at close quarters, roll +iron. Or because I think that is close quarters, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
is that as bad as I think it is?
I mean, I have a +3 in iron, so it's a 4 at least.
But you have to exceed that 4, remember?
I have to exceed it rather than match it.
Yeah.
You know what? Given that I can't seem to roll higher than a 2 all day, or a 3 even at best, let's mark that fugitive block again.
Oh my! We see the cloaked figure entering the casino. And seems to be looking around and fixing on what looks to be a slightly loose wall panel in one corner with a vent in the center of. But that strong hit, on a strong hit, mark progress twice. You overwhelm your foe and are now in control. Right? So
4 boxes, I think, 2 boxes progress.
4 big boxes, exactly so.
And now I'm back in control, as I think I kick one of those bots right against the wall, smash the one with a blade, and then as the other one rolls towards me with its sparks, it just comes straight back down again. And cleave through a couple more because it's a bunch, right? It's mob fighting at this point.
It is. Raven, you are in control, which I think means strike or gain ground. Oh, you are muted.
Muted. Let's go with strike. Let's just do it.
Roll plus edge.
Okay. Which is not my strong suit.
Oh no, sorry, I beg your pardon. When you're in control and assault close quarters, roll plus iron. I beg your pardon.
Okay. So rolling with a +2. So that would be a miss. There's no reason to save momentum if you're not going to spend it. So let's mark that up to the roll will be an 8 +2 will be a 10. So it'll be a weak hit, but not a strong hit.
So on a strike, weak hit, mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. You're in a bad spot. So what form does this danger take? What didn't you notice?
I do think that it had these things have pushed me back, and I have my back against the tank.
Yes, of course you do. Of course you do. Where Cinderwing, who is kind of looking for advantage here, will notice that the shape that's moving in that fluid is kind of lining the wall of the tank behind Raven. Cinderwing, I do want to know whether you have what your thoughts are about that +1 on your next move.
I mean, there's a being in that fluid, right? I'm pretty
There's
sure
something in that fluid. It's. I think what I can tell you for nothing is that it is clearly amorphous, because while it was swirling in there, now it's just coating the inside of the tank behind Raven.
In that instance, I will not smash the tank to pieces because I don't know what's in there. And I know my people died when overcome when they were overcome with an allergic reaction to something, and I don't want to die of hay fever, my friends. So I think what I am going to do is, let's see, there's a lot of electronics around here, and I imagine growing up on ships and such, I am fairly familiar with that. So what I want to do is kind of tweak something or other to make a kind of, to jam the droid, whatever's controlling these droids' behavior. That would be my favorite if I could try to do that.
I mean, how are we going to resolve that?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
I think that's looking about you to try and find out. I think it's assess the situation. I think it's gaining leverage. Is there an aerial in here that is some way, or are they, are they running on individual programming, which seems odd? Simple machines, right? Not AI.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's secure an advantage.
I've tried that, and the options on a success are pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I would like to gain ground.
Right. Well, you have to enter the fray first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what do we see you doing that will determine which of these you are going to roll? Preparing to act against an unaware foe? Is that am I seeing you kind of looking to clamber up a wall and leap on one of these things?
I guess I'll try to do that. Yes, I try to act an unaware foe. That's what I'm trying to do. Acting on an unaware foe.
So you're trying to get behind one of these things and give it a very nasty surprise. So that's roll plus shadow.
Okay. Where's my character? Okay, it's plus shadow. And this is not lying, stealing, or burglaring, or anything like that. I guess bluffing, certainly not. Cheating a little, but I guess that won't count either.
I think the scoundrel path is really about the con man,
the
hustler.
Fine. Yeah, I will draw my blade at this point because why not? And poke the thing with it.
Roll that dice.
I'm rolling that dice. Yeah, it's a 6, so it's a weak hit.
Fine. So weak hit, that puts you... Choose one. Do you want to be in control or take 2 momentum?
I need to be in control here.
Fine.
Because then I can do the gain ground stuff. Yeah, and that gives me progress, and that's what we need. So, yeah.
Fine. Let me go back round to Relic. We are currently looking at 9. Do you want to try and finish this? You are in control.
Mm-hmm.
You can move there to take decisive action to end this.
Yeah. How far? Oh, we're pretty far. Let's take decisive action to end this. Let me just have a quick back of that rule. Take a decisive action. Visage how. Roll just the challenge dice with no stats attached to it, right?
Yeah.
And compare to progress. Well, I'm terrible at every roll so far, but let's give it a go. So I just roll the challenge
2
dice.
D10s, and let's hope that they are less than 8.
And I think that the decisive action that's being taken is as I've dispatched, I think, the sort of half dozen or so that are on my side of the tank, and I can see Raven surrounded by these, getting close into them, a bunch of them, and I look up and I see a conduit above us that's held up by some sort of fitting that I can slash through with my blade, and I'm gonna step up onto a wall and crash through it, and we'll smash through it. So let's see if it happens.
So hang on, just so I'm clear, this is decisive action against the bots.
Yeah.
So is this going to bring the tank down?
No, it's the conduit that's going to.
Okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Fine, yeah. Go for it.
The complication, of course, could be that it breaks up.
Exactly.
Okay, go. 5 and a 10. That's a weak hit, right? I think.
It could be a strong hit, of course.
I spent my fugitive. No, you know what? I think I've done enough of that for this hour. I've got another hour of play. It'll get marked to that point, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So take decipher. On a weak hit, you achieve your objective. So I will show that by putting a tick in the servitor box and ruling them out. But not without cost. Roll on the table below and choose one. I'm going to roll a D100 and look at what options I get.
Yeah, put on the table below, I'll choose one, but I think this is up to the GM. So.
Yeah, I think so. 95 or 59 is, it gets complicated. The true nature of the foe or objective. Oh, yes.
Perfect. Because if I admit, if I could have chosen one, I would have totally chosen the others pay the price. Raven gets hit by that grudge.
I'm going to go for, it gets complicated. The true nature of the foe or objective is revealed. The conduit comes crashing down. And behind you, Raven, you feel the tank shifting and falling. No! And that, I think, is where we'll take our next break.
Good call.
Back at 5 past the hour. See you then. And as it shifts, it cracks, the strains gun, it crashes to the ground, and there's a kind of whoosh as this nutrient fluid flows out around all your ankles. Raven, I think you're closest. What do I see you doing?
I think that I am the robots are dispatched, right?
The robot threat has gone. You'll notice that I put a tick in the box, which means we draw a line through servitor bots. You have successfully, there's no more coming anytime soon, unless the rest of this goes horribly pear-shaped.
Then I will look over, and I want to see, before I kind of judge, is to see what position Cinderwing is in.
Cinderwing, where do we see? Because you went up behind one of these and went for it. Where are you now?
I was actually trying to do something with it, but since the bots are out of commission now, I'm kind of, I don't think I'm that surprised because there was a huge crash behind me, right? So
I think everyone spins and looks.
Yeah, that's basically, I might have withdrawn a little while spinning and looking, but yeah, and I still have my blade in my hand.
So that's where Cinderwing is, Raven.
So in that case, then because I know they are just a little bit less combat oriented, I will move myself to kind of try and position myself not directly in front, but nearby them before I swing out the blade and kind of light it up with the psychic energy.
Let me ask you then first, what was the best experience you had with the Redeemers?
I think it was, if I flash back to it, the first time they gave me a grudging word of acknowledgement for a job well done, like that, like it had been a long time coming.
Would you roll plus spirit, please?
Okay. So that is a +4 with the challenge dice, I assume?
With the challenge dice.
Okay. So that is a 7 against that. So that is a weak hit.
Weak hit. Reduce spirit by 1 because you're in that moment. You're in that moment and they turn and that acknowledgement turns into mocking laughter.
Oh.
Relic, describe the moment when you found the shard.
It was going for a deep scar in the land that was across the moon where my colony, my people made their home. A ravine that goes deeper and deeper in, and within that was the wreckage of one of the iron ships, the great vessels that carried humanity from the homeworlds to the Forge. Fragments of it broken up into pieces within, and I clambered my way through each of them and buried deep within what was, I presume, looks some sort of arcane technology that I don't quite understand, with the words artificial intelligence core across the center of it. The Thunder Shard was embedded directly within it.
And there's that sword in the stone moment where you grasp the sword and withdraw it.
Yeah.
And you know, you're reliving that memory. And that memory is and then, you know, I had it, that moment of elation. But now the lights flicker up and an artificial voice says, "Intruder identified." And the walls of the chamber you're in constrict and constrict and constrict. Would you roll with spirit, please?
Yes. That's just a challenge die or a challenge and an action die?
Oh, sorry. Treat that as the action die. Yeah, D6 plus spirit. I'm not sure I'm supposed to use it like that, but
a weak hit.
A weak hit. You too suffer 1 spirit, so reduce it by 1. As you shake that alternative vision, what you feared might have happened. Cinderwing, describe how you were feeling as you approached the flotilla, the clan ships.
I think I was relieved to find them finally, because they're moving. It's always kind of hit and miss to find them. I was relieved to find them. I was looking forward to putting my legs up and maybe tell a few stories, learn a few other stories, meet my family again, meet my special one again. And, yeah.
In this recollection, your parent comes over the comms saying, Cinderwing, we've been worried about you. You know, dinner is served. And then we see you walking through the corridors of the ship. Everyone's moving about. So it's just normal. And you get to your quarters, you settle down with your family, and then before your eyes, they crumble to dust. Would you roll plus spirit, please?
Sure. And that's I don't roll d6, right? But
Yeah, d6 plus, yeah.
D6 plus spirit, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done this wrong, but I've learned.
Okay, modifier here. See how that goes. So I've rolled a d6 on the spirit and the thing. I've got a strong hit.
No problem at all. Gain 1 momentum.
Cool.
You realize that this thing is trying to manipulate you.
Like that? Crumbling to dust? That would have been preferable to what I actually found.
Maybe. And as you kind of shake these unpleasant visions that it's broadcast, taking your thoughts and memories and manipulating them and broadcasting them back to you, as you shake out of that, you see that this amorphous, shadowy shape has emerged from the fluid in the bottom of the chamber. Again, I'm going to go to Raven. No, I know I'm going to go to Cinderwing first, because you're the one who's come out of this least affected. What do you do?
I think I'll stab it with my blade in this case.
Let's have you enter the fray.
I will, in the way, pretend that I'm affected by whatever it's doing, like, oh no.
Stumble towards it. Oh no.
And then I'll just slash it with the dagger.
Fine. I'll have you preparing to act against an unaware foe. Roll plus shadow.
Okay. Yeah, wow. I was going to say that didn't go well, but it actually did. It's a strong hit.
Oh, of course, yes. So strong hit, you are in control and you add 2 momentum.
Nice.
I think probably I'm going to go to Raven next as being the person most familiar with.
Is there a reaction in the fiction?
You slice into it and you feel a kind of a friction, but it's a psychic friction.
Nice.
You haven't made any impact on it yet, but you think you can. Raven, you have most experience with these kinds of things.
So we're in a combat sequence, or
I think unless you want to do something else, you don't have to. It's there. You don't have to enter the fray if you have other options or other thoughts.
I think actually I'm going to lean into what I took as my path, and I am actually going to essentially kind of follow up on Cinderwing slashing into it and kind of try and drive it towards Relic with that psychic blade. And I would like to do that, aid your ally, trying to demonstrate that I am not a glory hound and I am doing what needs to be done.
Let's have you aid your allies. Rolling with?
I think this is heart. So I'm rolling heart plus another one for loyalist. So that is a weak hit. Let me look at the aid your ally, and this is the secure an advantage. So I will give Relic 2 momentum.
Fine. Relic, 2 momentum.
Nice.
Raven, I come slashing in just after Cinderwing has cut into this thing, and I'm kind of swinging my blade to follow up, kind of in sync to drive it towards you, Relic.
Nice. Does this require me to enter the fray again then?
It does.
Okay.
You tell me how.
Well, I think I'm certainly in the thick of it at close quarters, given that it's been driven towards me. In fact,
fine. Roll plus iron.
That is for once a strong hit.
Well, what do you know? Because there's only one tick left on that fugitive clock. It's not a strong hit. You take both. You get +2 momentum, and you're also in control.
Nice.
So both
to actually win at a roll.
So both Relic and Cinderwing are in control. Raven has yet to technically enter the fray. So Cinderwing, you could hurt this. This is gain ground or strike.
Okay.
When you are in control and take action in a fight to reinforce your position or move towards an objective, blah. Or strike, when you are in control and assault a foe at close quarters.
I don't want to attack it in close quarters. I would like to strike at the distance. So what I want to do, I think, is
can I help? Because the only option you've got with strike, given the fiction, is roll with iron, which I don't think you want to do you?
When I attack from a distance, I can roll the edge. So I just need to get to the right distance to throw my blade at it.
Oh, you're going to throw your iron blade at it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but I need the right angle, right? I need to get up. So I think what I'm doing is I'm trying to gain ground, coordinating a plan, studying a situation.
That's what I wondered, because gain ground offers you hiding, preparing an ambush, or misdirecting, so roll plus shadow to gain ground.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, and then I can maybe mark progress, whatever that would mean. See how that goes. Okay, yep, it goes well. This is a strong hit again.
Strong hit. On a strong hit, gaining ground. Choose two, yeah. Progress, momentum, +1.
I will take +1 on my next move if I need to, and I will mark progress.
Fine. So I have made this a dangerous opponent shall mark enough boxes to mark 2 big ones. Yeah? On the Spirit Hunter. And then I come to Raven. What do we see?
Let me look at the progress track here.
So yeah, let's be clear here. You could at this point, you've got 6 on the end, the Spirit Hunter threat on a bar is 5. You could at this point try to succeed. Or you can wear this thing down, and that will give you mark progress on the end of the Spirit Hunter threat.
Let me think. Here, what do I want to do?
In terms of what's at stake here, if you take this one down and then try to complete the vow, if it goes well, fine and dandy, done and dusted. If it goes badly, there may be another one. If you go straight to that one now, you could take this down, or maybe there's another one if it goes badly.
Then I think I'm going to enter the fray.
Fine.
And I think I'm just going to set myself. I hear the whiz as the blade comes past me. From
Well, I don't think Cinderwing's thrown it yet.
Oh, okay. So I see that Cinderwing's setting up. So I will stride in and strike at this thing.
Entering the fray, facing off against your foe, roll plus heart.
Okay. So
there has to be begone, foul creature of the night.
I think it's more that I hold that up, and I think there's that manifestation of the energy around it, and this it looks like the sword is whole, rather than as ravaged as it was, and I'm going to bring that down on this thing. So I'm rolling
roll plus heart,
+1 for Slayer. Ugh.
Oh, that does not look good to me. That
is a miss. That is a complete miss.
The fight begins with you in a bad spot because it goes large and thin and seeks to envelop you. So you're on the back foot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Relic.
Yeah. Whereas I am in control, particularly given that it is now seems to be focused upon Raven. He's useful with that. Which means that now I can
gain ground or strike.
Yeah.
The advantage of gain ground is you can choose which stat you roll with.
Yeah.
Strike is just getting in there.
Yeah, and due to being a blade master, when I strike in close quarters, I add +1. It would have made no difference to my previous rolls.
Thanks for remembering it now, though. So strike then. Iron +1.
Oof. That is a weak hit still, though.
Wow. Roll 1 on a dice and get a weak hit. That's not bad, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, luckily I rolled a 2 on the other dice.
Mark progress twice.
However, if I was to spend my momentum, right?
Tell me.
Would that turn it? That would turn the dice roll into an 8. Is that correct? And then I would add my stats to it.
So it would turn your result into an 8.
My overall results.
Your overall result. You'd still miss the 9. Yeah.
Yeah. No point to it. Yeah.
So on a weak hit, mark progress twice. So enough small boxes to fill.
Wait, before you said it was the roll that was replaced.
Yeah, and I got it wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. You're in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this thing has no front or back. So you've got to, you give it a good belt, but in fact, it its attention moves towards you.
Yeah, I'm imagining like flash into it and like whatever sort of strange pseudopodish features were kind of like staring at Raven just suddenly melt through the body and like those tendrils reach out towards me.
Indeed so. Indeed so.
Maybe wrapping around my sword arm. You know, I'm in a bad spot, right? Like
you are in a bad spot. So Cinderwing, do you want to throw your knife at it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. When you attack, so that's strike at a distance, roll plus edge.
Mm-hmm. Can do that. That is +2, and I got +1, I think, from the last thingy, so I'm at +3
Go
again.
on.
See how that goes. Okay, that does not go well.
That's a miss with a match.
Yeah, and even my momentum wouldn't help me because it's 5 as well.
So that does not go well.
No.
So on a miss to strike, the fight turns against you. You're in a bad spot, must pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pay the price here. This is quite a dangerous beast.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these pseudopods, one of these, a little bit of the shadow leaps out, kind of stretches towards you and smashes you. But it doesn't physically, it smashes through you.
Mm-hmm.
Mark 2 spirit down.
Mm-hmm.
Raven.
So I'm in a bad place, right?
You're in a bad spot, yeah.
So
your options are to react under fire or clash.
Let's look and see. Yeah, let's clash. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. When you're in a bad spot, fight back against a foe at close quarters, roll plus iron.
Okay. I think this is less the blade, actually, and I think I'm trying to smack this thing back, and I think I am pulling back the arm, and like you see the little line of lights go up it, and I am going to swing at it.
I wondered when we'd see the augmented play.
Yeah. So now here's a question. Can I add that bonus to the Slayer bonus, or are they mutually exclusive?
I don't think there's any suggestion that things are mutually exclusive.
Okay. So I'm going to roll with a +4 on this, and I'm going to do well. Or I could get a weak hit.
Better than nothing.
That's better than nothing.
But a strong hit would have given your augment a bit of benefit as well, wouldn't it? So on a weak hit, mark progress, but you are dealt a counter blow or setback. You stay in a bad spot and must pay the price. Again, this thing, you hit it with you fist it almost with the augment.
Well, let's phrasing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
I strike it with my fist.
I don't know what you mean. You punch it. You punch it. And it just, rather as it did with Relic's sword, it wraps around your arm. And you can feel it's kind of sucking the energy out of your arm. Mark 2 supply.
I like that.
Relic, we're back with you. In a bad spot, as I remember.
Yes, in a bad spot indeed.
React under fire or clash? Or take decisive. You've always got the option to take decisive action if you think that 6 in progress is enough. If you've weakened it, progress is currently at 8. So, do you think that is sufficiently weakened it?
Yeah, I do.
Fine. Yeah. Let's have you take decisive action. It went really well last time.
It did. That's just the challenge.
It is. It is 8 versus 2d10s. No pluses, no minuses, no nothing.
Yeah. How do I do it? So currently it's like enveloped Raven's arm and is draining it of energy. And and it has flicked out another tendril towards Cinderwing, I think.
Cinderwing, it swept through Cinderwing, and you see that just kind of look of that painful, sucking of spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe just a slight hint of that wrinkling that you saw in the bodies.
Maybe like
just to confirm that this is what we think it is.
Yeah, maybe like a flicker of blue energy and that wrinkling and then back to normal, right? Like in true Doctor Who special effects style.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Yeah, I think he swears and kicks his foot into the creature, prying away his sword, and then swings it down in one. We'll see how that goes. So
2d10. Look for less than 8. A 6 and an 8. Weak success.
A weak success. Yeah.
You achieve your objective, but not without cost. Roll on the table below or choose one. If the fight continues, you're in a bad spot. Let me see. So you are going to destroy it?
Yes.
Yeah. That is not a question. I will put a tick in that box so that the Spirit Hunter is gone. But I am curious about what the downside for us may be. 38 or 83. What inspiration does that give me? It's worse than you thought. Make a suffer move. 83. Others won't forget. You are marked for vengeance. No, I think this is worse than you thought. Make a suffer move. You are going to take current state of play on you. I think I'm going to suck another 2 spirit out of you as it in its last dying effort to get enough life force to keep going. It draws that from you. So reduce spirit by another 2.
Can I suggest it's as the Sunder Shard rips through it, the psychic energy from it glows through the Sunder Shard's runes, and it's hard for those observing to tell whether it's the blade or the creature's death that's sucking the energy out of Relic.
We like that. We like that.
So I endure 2 stress, is it?
You reduce spirit by another 2.
Right. And sorry, I'm just looking at the suffer moves. It's when you hit 0 that you make the endure stress or the endure. Right, I see.
Yeah. So you don't get the impacts until things get a bit worse.
Yeah. Cool. And obviously explosion of psychic energy flings me back across the whatever the little room that we're in, is crashing into one of the walls.
I'm going to mark another 2 boxes on the Iron Vow, because we still need to determine whether you have successfully ended the threat of the Spirit Hunters. It is currently 8. Is there anything anybody wants to do here and now to try to push that progress any higher?
Can we just roll with the progress?
Yeah, you could just roll with the progress.
I'm with Cinderwing on this. I think we need to try and close the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that I don't think, Raven, have you rolled to?
I have rolled to try and finish something. Somebody else needs to.
Cinderwing.
Was my vow anyway, so.
It was. Seems appropriate. So 2d10s, you are looking for less than 8.
Okay. Oh. Yep. Even in some, it's less than 8. So much less than 8.
It is so much less than 8. So that is where have we gone? Quest moves. Fulfill your vow on a strong hit. Your vow is fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest's legacy track. Now, I have to say, I'm not at all clear from the rules. I think everybody gets to do this. I just don't see this is fair as a mechanic.
We all swear the same vow, don't we?
Exactly. Exactly. So in the same way that you are affected by that together, you are affected by this together. So this was where are we? This was a dangerous threat and therefore you are going to you are going to roll. You're going to put 2 ticks on your quest's legacy track. So if we check out the legacy tracks, there we go. I know 2 ticks, not 2 boxes.
Yeah. So we've only filled in
Exactly so.
half of 1 box, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And as when you do another one, you'll get, and obviously the tougher the quest, the more progress you make, the quicker you mark those XP. So I think that we're about done, but I didn't do last time what I should have done, which was end of session. End of session is an opportunity for you to do things like strengthen the relationship. Principally, that's what I missed last time. So what I want to do is to go to our connection, snipe. Sorry, that shouldn't say bond. There we go. And offer you the opportunity to strengthen your relationship. There are going to be 2 roles on this. One for the fact that you swore an iron vow to support him, and another one because last time and this time because you succeeded in your vow. So Cinderwing, I'm gonna invite you to roll to develop your relationship. When you reinforce your relationship with a connection by doing any of the following. So I'm going to give it to you for swearing the vow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're going to roll the dice. The benefit of having him applies to all of you. So there's no kind of personal thing here. So go ahead. Roll. Do not mark progress.
Roll plus their rank.
Plus their rank. And his rank is 2, is it?
He's troublesome, I think, wasn't it? Or
yeah, how many little hexagons is filled in? Is that?
That's 2.
Yeah.
So it's troublesome.
Yeah.
Or dangerous, because troublesome is just a +1.
Oh, he's dangerous. Yeah.
He's a +2 then, yeah.
Yeah, roll +2.
Okay. Just +2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's about how significant a figure they are in the setting more
Indeed
than like
so.
your relationship with them.
Well, I forgot to add the d6. So I will roll that now. I have to roll at least higher than 3 and maybe better than, well, can't be a strong hit anymore. But it is a weak hit.
A weak hit. So on why is this way? On a weak hit, take +2 momentum. On a miss, hang on. So on a strong hit, on a,
you don't mark your legacies track if you don't.
No, that's right. That's right.
No.
But how do you mark? Why? How do we mark on his track? That's what I don't understand. You mark progress. Oh, right. Sorry. Right. Automatic. Right. So when you do any one of these things, you automatically mark progress per the rank of the connection. I see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm going to fill in enough. So as soon as you swore a vow to him,
mm-hmm.
we fill 2 boxes. But you are going to mark 2 momentum, Cinderwing.
Mm-hmm.
It was who rolled the final. So let's have you fulfill the bond. Let's have you. I'll mark another 2 boxes of progress in your relationship with Snipe, and you get to roll
a quest to their benefits, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So then I roll
+2.
That's 5. So that's a weak hit again.
Weak hit. You mark 2 momentum.
I'm at the max now. Yeah.
And was there anything else on end of session? I don't think so.
Okay.
That was the only 2 things that were on my notes. So I think that we're. Go on. Somebody say something then.
I think it was some echo.
Oh, fine. I think that we cut back to the hydroponics where you have the conversation with Snipe and he is overjoyed. But I think you probably have drawn attention because he tells all his friends that there was a ghost and you laid it to rest. So I think there is going to be a reaction in terms of the way that the Jackals feel about you. So I'm going to make that change now, I think. They are no longer apathetic or unaware of you. They are distrustful of you because this was not supposed to work to their disadvantage, Relic. That was not part of the deal that you brokered with Jaws.
I mean, you know, you don't get everything you want sometimes. At least this time, they weren't going to talk about it for much long. It's a ghost that's gone, as opposed to the ghost that was just going to keep killing people.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
why did that work to their disadvantage again?
Because their whole spiel was there was never any ghosts. We've never been haunted. It's not a problem.
Okay,
Keep coming to the casino.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're done. I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes, and just have a bit of a debrief about how some of that went. And then next time we'll kick off with you deciding where or what you want to do next. Yeah. So, stars and wishes. Let me go in the order I can see you. Let's start. Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, lots of stars. This was a fun session. I still continue to love both of these characters. I especially enjoyed Raven's temptation with the whole gambling thing. And that he rolled so well. That was also fun to see. Yeah, I also like the mystery. That spirit thingy, that was creepy enough. And the droid factory was kind of cool. Wish we could have seen more of what was actually behind the whole thingy. But
well,
yeah.
you know, next episode, up to you.
Yeah, maybe we'll figure it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Any wishes?
Yeah, that was one of the wishes. I wonder if this move that makes any roll a strong hit, however it goes, that is actually something that comes from the solo play. Because in solo play, that is something you won't want to weigh the advantages and disadvantages. Do I want another guy here or not? But if this is in a group play, you can just push it and then somebody comes and the whole group takes care of the problem. Or you get a solo thing and while the other players sit around. I don't think it fits quite that well on a group because it's really fucking powerful. If you can turn any roll into a strong success, even. Wow.
Yeah, no, it is. And there are a couple of more in the pack like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, I used it in a solo when I tried this out solo, and I found it a really good move.
Yeah.
Because it gives the GM carte blanche to throw something at the group at any point. It's like having a ticking clock towards a really hard move. Lord.
Yeah, well, and I'll kind of like I'll agree with Sabine's perception there on that, but we'll talk about that in mechanical stuff here in a second. Yeah. So I like these characters. I like getting the detail on the protocol droid today. Getting that out on the table. I liked Relic dealing with Jaws there. So some good moments. The interesting thing to me is there are so many pieces we're in the mechanics, but I do feel like I'm getting a hold of some portions of it. Like okay, now I like this is how rolls work. Here, when we do the rolls, what are the moves we're going to? Like I feel like I'm getting the pieces, which is a challenge, and like it's fun having things that you're tracking and putting numbers in, you know, and there's a certain amount of, yes, I pull the lever and the little coins come out kind of thing that I am very
or not
susceptible to. I enjoyed the good moves felt good. The bad moves felt like they were interesting. So that was solid all around. Let me think here in terms of the sort of pluses, or rather wishes. Yeah, maybe getting some framing next time about, like, we've got that quest track that's a big ass long track as a legacy. Maybe giving us some context for like what that looks like. Are there milestones on it? Is it just a sort of small in the background thing? Like I'm really curious about that. I wishes I need to go and look at the other moves that are in the book and kind of have a sense that that's something I need to do to get a sense of what those options are. But that's about it.
Fair enough. Will, any stars, any wishes?
Stars, I loved revisiting all of our background moments, with the psychic attack. That was fun. Because I hadn't given any thought whatsoever, to be perfectly honest with you. It was great, and it was great to see, I feel one of my big stars is that, like, I enjoy the feeling of having Cinderwing's people be a memory around us at all times, certainly around Cinderwing. But we have the ship, and Cinderwing often calls back to the moments of a kin kind of thing. I really like that.
And we haven't been on the ship yet when they start singing.
No, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I really enjoyed how we've all done, like, the moves and everything. I'm enjoying. I think we're getting them. It is a if this then that kind of thing. But I think because I'm imagining as we progress, almost seeing more of us kind of like flowing through them quicker and immediately offering the framing of what it means, and the. Maybe we, by the end of it, we could be at the point where we could run a GM-less game of this, right? But who knows? Wishes. I would at some point like to do a proper expedition, maybe a space one. Just to go back to we didn't actually talk about the routes in and out. But I think you only make the space expedition when you're forging a new route, as opposed to just traveling down a normal space lane.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, my advice would be to take out one of the routes and have it go off the sector edge, because that gives you more scope for space exploration and stuff turning up randomly than if you're just, the only way you're going to find stuff at the moment is if you get really unlucky with a dice roll.
Yeah. So I would,
and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I would nominate even removing the path that connects us to this station. Maybe it got lost in the balefire or something, something like that.
Well, let's take a poll on that now. Let's poll the table.
No. I just think about wishes. That's my wishes. That was what it would be, I guess.
The suggestion is that the route from Orbaris 5 to Crux of Hyperion becomes a route from Crux of Hyperion or Fallen Beacon out of the sector. So you would be forced to undertake a space expedition to get anywhere from here.
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
We have only this little boat. It probably doesn't have all the data from my cultures or all the journeys. They're just not in there. This was not the navigational boat.
Fine. And the bottom line is that maybe you've been bumming around Orbaris 5 for a while collectively, and you were brought here by people who did have stuff in their computers.
Or just right? Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much my wish. I will float up the idea that if anyone really wanted to, I'd also be up for doing a dungeon delve into the inner workings of the station. But I feel like we can hold that off on one of the other ruins somewhere else first.
I was going to say Crux of Hyperion seems to me the place where because that's what they do. So yeah, fine.
And those are my wishes.
Mm-hmm.
Can we? I just wanted to address the fugitive thing, because I agree it's extremely powerful in a group in this dynamic of you often get weak hits or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does move it all the way up to a strong hit rather than just bump you up to the next tier. I mean, I kind of do like playing the idea of the fugitive and having like getting jumped at some point by cultists, because then we have a bunch of sort of humanoidy type things to fight. But I can see how how it impacts on the dynamic, right, and the mechanics of it all. And I'm not like wedded to the idea of it being exactly as it says in the tin, given that's designed for a solo play. So my suggestion would be,
well, no, let's be careful. It's designed for the game.
I know it's designed for the game. I'm just saying, like, I'm open to. I know it's the thing. I like the fugitive life path. I don't really want to change my life path again.
I'll tell you what, for me, those moves are.
Yeah.
What those moves are is when that goes off, you get screwed over, and you get bad, and the other two players have the fun of having to pull your bacon out of the fire, and then you owe us. Like for me, it's not necessarily that it's actually kind of a Benny for the other players, and like that's the way I look at. Like, we get a dramatic opportunity to get one over on you, and to be the big heroes there. At least that's I mean, it is powerful, but I do think I do think if we frame it right, I
would certainly not want to mess with any of the moves this early on. Because I don't think we've got sufficient experience of it yet.
I was, I am, as you all know, probably want to give me a button that says, when you press this button so many times, danger and trouble will hit your character. I will always press that button over and over and over again, right? So, yeah, I'm happy to carry on. I'll be honest with you, I was just trying, a lot of this session was me, well, I may as well use it because I want to be able to kick it off at an interesting point, not right. Whereas at 0, it's kind of like, And
it's surprising how quickly that clock mounts up.
Yeah, and I also want to see what it's like to succeed, given I rolled like 1s and 2s every other.
Okay, I'm going to start. Well, stars from me just for your engagement, right? Because I think that there is a lot of mechanic in this, and I appreciate your kind of patience as we work our way through it. My wish is, that the fiction mechanic becomes smoother, so that at the minute there's a sense in which we're examining. Well, I have a strong attribute here that relates to this approach in that move, so I now have to come up with a bit of fiction that I think that will get smoother with practice. I'll be honest.
It reminds me a little bit of Legacy and even Star Trek Adventures things. Like the first time you learn it, there are a lot of mechanical processes to every role, and because we're trying to get through them, we often forget that fictional positioning. It's actually why I appreciate Sabine several times today stopping and saying, what does this look like? What's the fictional positioning and things like that? Because I'll admit, when I get my head caught up in the mechanics, when I'm running or I'm playing, I forget about that. And so I was very happy that you did that. And I think that is a real challenge to a new game like this, is getting it under your belt and finding the place where you can get comfortable enough that you can stop, have felt like I have figured out what the role needs to be, but let me talk about what it looks like. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, no, I have to say that it does feel like this is the most plates I've spun in a while.
Yes.
It's fair to say.
Yeah.
So, any more debrief that we want to do?
Good.
I think that's enough for now. If anything comes up, put it in the message group.
Thank you for running this again. I know it's a lot of work.
No, I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, for me, one of the stars is I quite like the way the combat is a bit more involved than I'm used to. You know, there's that sense that there are ways through this, and there are almost tactical decisions to be made in terms of, do I stick with edge and iron, or am I looking for different ways?
That simple thing of putting people either in a control position or an uncontrolled position, like, and it doesn't get that much more complicated than that. That actually really sets up the fiction very nicely. Like, I am coming in hard and I can do this, or I'm in a bad place. And that's like, that little mechanic is worth, I would steal for something else. Like, I think it's great.
Yeah, it for me, it's a bit like the opening move in a Blades op.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like an approach roll. Yeah. That's anyway, a really good point.
I think it's more like that than initiative per se.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm going to stop the recording there. Can I post it?
100%.